3, 2, 1. What's going on, Badger Nation? Yeah, you got it.
I was
welcome
like
everyone.
looking at your lips while you were talking. Sorry.
Yes, there's a slight delay. But anyway, welcome everyone to our thankfulness episode. It is Thanksgiving time here in the U.S. And if we're not in the U.S., it is a holiday all about one of my favorite things, eating delicious food. And today, very special guest. We are joined by someone who works behind the scenes here on the podcast. And I'm really excited to have her on. Nancy, thanks so much for being here. And I thought it was so fitting because I know that both me as well as everyone who listens to the show is very thankful that it exists and you're a big part of that, moving things around in the background so that I sound way smarter than I am. So thank you for that.
I'm happy to be here, and I like being a behind the scenes badger.
Yeah. How's it feel to be on the mic?
A little strange. I like hiding.
Don't let the fame go to your head.
Yeah.
Look at me now. I'm an egomaniac.
Oh, totally.
Yeah. So with all that said, we both definitely wanted to say thank you to everyone out there who does listen to this, because we're actually the PPC Den. This podcast, this humble little podcast about Amazon advertising, is the first and longest running podcast about Amazon advertising in the world, which means we're the longest running podcast about Amazon advertising in the universe, which is no small accomplishment. We actually launched it in the office when we were all working together in an office. And I remember we didn't have a studio. So I was just like sitting in the corner with Brent, and like everyone else had to be quiet.
And it was really hard for me to be quiet. I just giggled, I feel like, the whole time, and then I'd have to hide my face. Yeah. But we did have fancy lights set up in that office, and we had a fancy black curtain.
Mm-hmm. Big shout out to Ryan Moran from capitalism.com. We actually moved into his office, and he was gracious enough to let us borrow all of his equipment, which to this day I'm still not sure if maybe he just didn't want to move it out. Like, you guys can work with that.
It was nice to have.
Yes, thank you, Ryan. But also, we had a whole bunch of guests this year that we would love to shout out. So one very recurring guest on the show is a good personal friend of mine, Brent Zahradnik. You actually had a favorite episode of his.
Yes, I like the how to use Amazon's new budget tab and report, because the energy between you guys, I don't think you can tell in the video that you were together in the same space, but the energy was definitely there, and I was so interested in budget tabs and reports because of that. The enthusiasm's contagious. Yes,
we were in the same room, and he came and visited Austin. It was great. Then Noemi, who's a Spotify star, she was on the show, and you really liked the community aspect of that episode.
Yes, and I liked her cats. She shouts out her famous cats. They're so precious. But I do think for the right sellers, building a community is worth considering. And so it's a very niche topic, but I think you guys did a really good one.
Yeah. Another really cool guest that we're thankful for was Adam Heist, who... that was actually my first time talking with him, and I feel like it's one of our best episodes, which is rare, right? It's part of the reason why we have recurring people on the show is because I get to know them, we become closer, and we can really have a good rapport on the show. That was the first time I did anything with Adam, and we crushed it. It was one of the best ones. Yeah,
I was very concise. I loved the step-by-step quality of it. It seemed like he just had it down pat. The Google traffics to Amazon is what the topic was.
Yeah. It was amazing. And Stephen Pope, someone I've become a good friend with here, we had a lot of fun this year with the Avengers theme. We had that Avengers Open. Oh man, it was fantastic.
That one was awesome. I wish we would have titled it Assembling the Avengers of Your Amazon Team, but it was who to hire for your Amazon growth team. And I think Pedro, Moreno, our video editor, did a great job with it. Phenomenal with the music and all the rights. But also you guys just really nailed it. I would hire each of those Avengers for each of those positions. I don't want to give anything away though.
Yes, and big thank to Stephen too, because our SEO content, we did a 4-part series on SEO, and it's some of the best content about Amazon SEO on the internet. Destaney, somebody else who's become a good friend over from Better AMS. This is the first time the podcast went into the real world because we actually gave somebody tacos. We said, hey, comment tacos on our post or share it, and we will send you tacos. And you know what? We carried it through. We actually did it.
Yeah, I couldn't tell what taco he got, but I talked to him and he was really, I'm so excited that we were able to feed someone for a night.
We got the best audience.
Yeah.
Clifford Donovan, really smart guy, manages a smart team. He, when I was talking to him about branded keywords, I sort of thought one thing, and he was walking me through how he's been viewing branded keywords, and it was awesome. Definitely helped people lower their CPCs through that strategy. And then we have another recurring guest, Elizabeth Greene, and you actually had a favorite episode of hers.
Yes, the balancing Amazon PPC optimization and expansion. Because what I see in the comments, I don't reply to a lot of comments because I'm not a PPC expert, but what I see in the comments is that people tend to confuse the two, and I think that one's just important for giving different strategies and different activities for either optimizing or expanding.
Yes. And then, of course, we have another recurring guest, a good friend, Stephen Noch, former Badger, and still a good friend. And you had your favorite episode that he did too.
Yes. How to tell a story with Amazon PPC data to boost client understanding. It's a really fun episode, and I like that it takes something that can be educational and boring, especially to clients, to have these data and numbers, and to spin it in a way that's fun and easy to understand with a narrative component. And you guys have a really good chemistry. I just like the episodes with you two.
Yeah, we get along pretty good.
Yeah.
We then have current Badger, Michael Tejeda, who another recurring guest, talented PPC manager. And you had some things that you were thankful for with his episodes as well.
Yes. So you guys did kind of a duo. I don't know if you were intending them to be a duo episode combo, peanut butter and jelly, where there's one where it's like how to get the most out of Amazon PPC management. And it's mostly for clients and how clients can be really good clients. And I think that's really important for emphasizing the importance of partnerships and what can grow when teams understand each other and work together well. But then on the opposite side of that, there was an episode about how to be a great PPC manager, and we provided 10 tips for that. And I really liked that one. I think that one's probably the greater hit because our audience wants to be a great PPC manager. Yeah. But I love that one's actionable and straightforward as well. So they're both really important, and they work well together, peanut butter and jelly.
Yeah. Also thankful for Ryan Hofacre, another recurring guest, current Badger.
I liked one of his episodes the most, the 5 important factors that influence Amazon ranking, because I do think it's a good wake-up call to think beyond sales in order to overcome competitors. I think a lot of our audience might just think about sales, or maybe at first they might just think about sales, and once they've been around for a while, they might think beyond that.
And then this list wouldn't be complete unless we mentioned Bobby Pulte, who is the manager over at SearchScientists.com, our sort of cousin company. And, anytime there's a celebration in our Slack channel, like maybe Nancy's birthday, he's got the most photos of that person partying. Great to have at parties, Bobby Pulte. Also great to have on the podcast.
Yeah, Bobby's just a great person. His episode is a long time ago. It was about sponsored display reports, so I don't want to shout that out. But Bobby as a guest and as a person who's a friend of the team, high fives. Mm-hmm.
Big time. And then I think this might be a typo because you got one last person on this list.
Yeah, I wanted to shout you out. I mean, you're integral to everything. So my favorite episode, because I wrote out a list of all of the guest hosts we've had and all of my favorite episodes for them. But my favorite Michael Erickson Facchin episode was this little recent one, 15 minutes, how do I fix my decreasing conversion rate on Amazon? And I like that it gives the listeners homework. I think it really touches on your teacher roots, and I think it kind of makes people look beyond, hey, this is a 15-minute episode, these are all the nuggets. Like, there's more, there's lots more to learn.
Endless.
Yeah, and you do so much more than just hosting the podcast. You run the company, and including the engineering team, marketing, sales, customer experience. You do so much, and I don't know if people really understand everything. So I think you deserve a shout out, and I'm thankful for you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, and it means a lot, and I'm thankful to be here and have the opportunity to do all these cool things with such great people. We also wanted to give a shout out to some frequent commenters on the YouTube channel, who these people can be found answering a lot of questions, sometimes even helping others out there. We've got John Aglula. I'm sorry that I mispronounced your name.
It might be right.
Yeah, we've got Tim Kramer, very helpful. And we've also got Nick's Stuff.
We don't know. I mean, I'm assuming their name is Nick. Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much for helping us out. And of course, thank you to everybody on the Ad Badger team. Pedro, of course, the video and audio editor. I think it's really great. I've referred him to a whole bunch of friends, or they referred him to me. I don't remember what it was, but I know like he edits several of my friends' podcasts, which is really cool. Emma for graphic design, Paul, Neil, Xenia, Alejo, Nick, Carlos, Nemanja, Drazen, and of course, Michael Bonanno and Nancy. Thank you so much. And of course, Jennifer Chan. And thank you to everyone out there leaving incredible reviews on our Apple Podcasts page. Such an incredible audience. Thank you so much. I mean, leaving reviews like best PPC podcast. Can't say enough about this podcast. Gold nuggets in every episode. Thank you so much. There's so many here. We can't read them all.
I like the one where someone binge listened to their podcast on a long drive from California to Ohio. I've binge listened to podcasts too. You know you like a podcast when you listen to them on a really long drive.
Means a lot. It means a lot. Well, thank you everyone for listening. It means the world to us over here. You know, when I tell people that we are 150 episodes deep on a podcast just about Amazon advertising, they're like, what? And I was like, and we're still going. So we've got lots of plans coming up in the new year with what we want to accomplish on the show, and can't wait to share with you what we've got cooking. And of course, thank you, Nancy, for helping produce the show and get it done.
Of course, thank you for having me.
Bye-bye, everyone. Have a great Thanksgiving.
Bye.